Welcome to Coley Crowns. I'm Ashante.
And I'm Lori, and welcome to our Queendom.
We're back. We had a brief hiatus last week, so there was no new episode of Married at
No.
First Sight. Decision Day was this week. Last week's episode, they kind of just did a review of all the couples. So we were like, we're going to take a little break. But we're back with Decision Day.
Yay!
To see how did we do in our predictions, to see which couples decided to stay together and which ones decided to go their separate ways. But before we start, make sure you hit that subscription button, like the video, and check out our playlist of the previous episode recaps for this season 12 of Married at First Sight.
Yes.
So, thankfully, this was one episode.
That's what I was going to say.
So we had said it for like past episodes, past seasons, they've kind of divided up this Decision Day into 2 episodes. You know, they love drawing things out, right? So I was very surprised, happy to see that it was just this one, and we can move right into the reunion, because that's really what all of the little drama is going to be next week too.
Yes.
Seeing who's still together and what they saw from the show, what happened. So next week, make sure you tune back in and we'll be recapping the reunion. But to get started, the first couple was Clara and Ryan on Decision Day. Let's remind our viewers, what was your prediction on the couple? We did 2 predictions, whether they're going to say yes or no, and then if we think they're going to stay together a year from now. So let's answer the first question. What did we say if they were going to say yes or no?
I thought they were going to say yes.
Okay, I did too. I said both were going to say yes. So they did say yes, so we were right. You have any notes from the discussion between them and the experts?
I was so happy that their segment was like 10 minutes long, because then I was like, oh, okay, we're not like, usually they have all this, like, it was still a lot of slow walking coming in, like, right. Oh, look at her 1 step and then 2 step and then 3 step. And then let me play with my ring and let me look out into the sunset. So I'm glad that it kind of like rolled through and it wasn't like this long drawn out process. I thought this was the best Clara ever looked to me.
She looked nice. Best. I liked her dress, her whole overall look. Yes.
Everything actually looked good to me. Better than her wedding day, better than any other time I've ever seen her. So I was like, girl, good. I don't know why I don't like her in these little ponytails. It just makes her look like an old young lady. It's weird. So, but this looked like age appropriate. She looked really nice. Ryan looked like grandpa. He had a mustache. He had a big old bow tie. Then he had like a sweater vest on with a jacket. And I'm like, sir, I mean, it probably was winter time in Atlanta, but
yeah, it definitely was cold, because I know several times they mentioned that. And did he have a mustache yet? Oh, the mustache is
that was for the reunion.
Yeah. Terrible mustache. But I mean, it goes.
He still had his little swoop with this weird line right there and this big old bow tie and grandpa. That's what he was, just grandpa. So that I just wanted to kind of talk about their outfit a little bit, because that's what I have. They kind of went over again sex talk, and that'll come in time. Clara was just like, if we're gonna stay married, then I don't need to rush this. I know it'll happen eventually. And then the whole L word, and they did a whole montage about her biggest fear and how he's never said it. But I think she just knows this man is moving me in his house. He loves my dog. He does everything for me. She says this is the most stable or the best healthy relationship she's ever had. So I think she's just coming to the realization, like, why am I freaking out? Like, we can go past this date. This date is not D-Day, as much as I'm making it D-Day. Let's just say, yes, we know we want to move forward with it.
Yes.
So That's kind of my notes, other than them chopping and screwing his whole speech to make it seem like he was going to say no.
Yes, so that was my main comment. Like you said, it was like 10 minutes and that still was drawn out because they was doing the like cut in of him looking and how he was, well, I don't know, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, y'all are really good at like drawing things out and making it seem like he was gonna say no, but we know he was gonna say yes.
Right.
So
he knew that.
But I still think, like we said, the two of them, they'll make it. So my prediction is yes, they make it past the year. Because they could coexist, like we said. I think once the sex happens, then for sure,
everything else,
they'll be fine. So,
and I like, what was it, Dr. Pepper that said that, you know, Clara has a spunk and we couldn't pair you with someone that didn't have like, not that personality, but that wasn't like a strong woman or whatever. He's like, yeah, of course. So, I mean, I guess they have their reasons why they matched them. I just was surprised how boring they've been this whole season, but hopefully they have more fun than what was portrayed to us.
And I think, like we said before, Ryan definitely is very like conservative and making sure what's being portrayed on TV, you know, he has his little image. So I think off screen, they probably do have a lot more interaction. They're a lot more fun than we maybe see, because he's just so reserved, I guess, about himself and maybe how he's being portrayed. So
yeah, I would think that's not something you would reserve. I get talking about sex and stuff like that, but it just being funny, or, you know.
But you know how sometimes people in front of the camera, they can get like that stage
they freeze up.
Yeah. So I think that just makes him more intense. Like, I think he's already intense, right? Because we call him the old man, but being in front of the camera just like heightens that. So
yeah.
Okay. So anyways, so you said yes, right? You think they'll last past a year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So congratulations to Clara and Ryan. Next up, I have Haley and Jacob. You?
Yes. Haley and Jacob.
Your prediction was?
No. No. I know I'm not supposed to answer too, but no.
Right. Yeah. So mine as well. I was a no, but I was kind of confused on Jacob's answer, because the experts asked him, right? It didn't sound like, what was your decision? They were like, so what if Haley decided to say she wanted to give it another try? And it sounded like he was like, you know, we never really gave it a full try in the 8 weeks. So it sounded like he was saying yes. I was confused. Okay. So did he flat out and say no, though?
No, but he was just like, I think he said, we've been together for 8 weeks and we never really tried. I think he was saying that I don't see how we're going to try now.
Okay, something but that's like all I heard. So to me, it sounded kind of like he was saying, in answering the question they asked, whether if she said yes, like, what would you? It kind of, to me, sounded like he was like, well, we never really gave it a full try, that he would be open to doing it.
I didn't get that impression at all. I thought I thought he followed that up with how would we try now? Like something like that. So I'm with him.
Okay. Me too, because I was like, no, because she's not gonna change. Her answer was no. She wasn't gonna change. She's set in how she feels about that relationship.
She was so happy.
As much as she said that she has tried, as we all have seen, she has not tried. She wasn't gonna try no harder if they were to say, let's try to continue through this.
No, so she's already done. She came in there, she was like, oh, why you just look so pleasant? She's like, yeah, I feel good today. She's like, this is my last night that I had to spend with this man. Because she was going to just force herself to go through the process. So I think she just didn't want to be like, I'm the one that ended this. She didn't want to be the responsible party. So she was just like, we're just going to muscle and push on through until this day. And so that day came, and she was probably like, that last night, she probably slept like a baby. She was probably like, oh, so glad this is over.
Tomorrow is decision day. I get to say no and get out of this.
I did the process. You can't tell me I quit.
I didn't, right.
I did it.
I made it through.
Because none of that, there was no, I feel like a failure. There was no, I, really wanted this to work. There was none of that. She was just like, I'm good.
Yes.
Bye.
And Jacob looked, well, no, he had those glasses. I don't know. It made it look like, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Okay. So it was a no for Haley and Jacob, which not surprised about.
Let me see if I have any other notes. The only other note. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, so while you're reading your notes, I was gonna wish Jacob well in finding someone. Because we know he said several times that he thought this was his last hope. And so don't give up, Jacob. It's not your last hope. If anything, this has probably broadened you and broadened your scope of people who would be interested in getting in contact with you and dating you, because you're a match for somebody out there. And they're probably like, that's my person. So don't give up. Hopefully you will find someone if you have not found someone already.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Jacob. Your person is there. And watching it was on TV like, wait till.
She don't know what she's missing.
I just wrote, Haley comes off as a mean girl. She just does to
Didn't they already identify her as one at the beginning of the season?
The beginning?
I thought I heard that comment. Or maybe in another podcast they call her that, but she definitely does.
Yeah, she just, everything, just how her mannerisms, just, she came off as a mean girl for sure. So, okay, that's it.
Next, we're going to save that couple for last. You already know who we're talking about. So let's go with Virginia and Eric. What was your prediction on those two?
I wrote that. Oh, sorry. No, my prediction was yes, but I would hope that she would say no. That was my prediction.
And for him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought it was just together. I don't think we did separate.
Oh, well, I said separate. So,
I don't think I said if he was going. I didn't really care about Eric.
Okay. Well, I said yes for Eric, and I said I was hoping again for Virginia to say no too. I was thinking that once she got into the room and they started talking about things, she would get some maybe strength from the experts and be like, "No, I'm not liking how he's treated me. I think he's overbearing or whatever," and get out. But that did not happen. But Eric, they both said yes. However, I feel like Eric kind of guilt tripped her into saying yes because of how he
didn't say yes. Right. She didn't say yes to decision day. She said, well, go ahead.
He said yes. They asked him, what was his decision? He said yes, and then got on one knee and proposed to her. And I feel like that, even if she thought she was going to say no, just because of the situation, she's going to feel like she had to say yes because of that situation. So I feel like he guilt tripped her into saying yes to staying married. So she never really answered the question. She just answered him.
So he manipulated this whole situation. He came in there. He looked super nervous. I remember him looking like a weird, like, oh my God, what's happening? He came in there because I don't know if he really knew if she was going to say yes or no. So then he came in there with this silicone ring to propose to this girl. Okay. And then basically didn't even allow her to answer. Like, she didn't even get to say anything, really. Like, usually they talk to both and they talk about everything. And she said like a little something, but usually when you ask for the decision, there's like a pre-speech of why
they go through this stuff and they kind of make it sound like, well, yeah, are they gonna say yes or are they not gonna say yes? And she didn't have all none of that.
Nope, because he manipulated the situation. Was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna propose to her with this silicone ring that cost me $5.99
$5.
and make her say yes on this day. I don't know if she came in there saying yes. I don't know. Maybe she did. I didn't like that whole situation, but that's typical Eric.
Yes, I didn't like it either. And I was surprised that none of the experts said anything. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they would have been like, well, wait a minute, well, Virginia, how do you feel? You want to say
They were
yes?
just
Like,
happy to pop champagne. They were like, "Yes,
right?
another one." Woo!
Because I think in some of the other times I've seen couples that someone will officially propose, it's after that person has said yes, like they've made that,
Right.
and then they propose. So
Because you
this,
know what
like we
that
said,
person
he
wants to do. Right.
right,
Because you
he
know it's go
manipulated
for
the
yes.
situation to
Let
make
me do
her
this.
feel like she had to say yes in that situation. So, with that being said, a year from now, will they still be married?
No.
No,
This
I
will
don't
be
think
one of
so
my
either.
shocks. Like, oh, they're still together? Okay. That'll be one of my shock couples,
I,
honestly.
yes, agree. I agree. I would be really surprised if they were still together. Even by next week on the reunion, if they still together, I would be some kind of surprised.
See them being together for a bit
Yeah,
until like push comes to shove. Because usually the reunion, I think the reunion is probably a couple months, maybe. I think 30 days, 60 days, maybe. It's not that
man.
far.
As the world started to open back up, she got back out partying and drinking with her stuff, and him back having problems. Well, he always had problems with her staying. I Yeah, I would not be surprised if by
Okay.
reunion they announced they were no longer together. But we'll
That'd be
see.
great. Okay, I
Um,
shouldn't say that. That's terrible.
what'd you say?
Um, one of the things that I wrote too is about him saying that he's not her number one. And I was just like, what? You
What is with
just
that?
met this girl 2 months ago? So yeah, you gonna have to creep up in the number one category, especially because it hasn't been all hunky dory. So you're not gonna be automatic number one just because you got married to each other.
Right.
Like,
He was like, I'm expecting us to say I do, and then now I'm your number one. Everything you do is revolves around me in our
no.
relationship.
I
8 weeks, sir. 8 weeks ago, you met this person for the very first time. Just like you or any relationship, it takes time to build that trust and time to build a sustainable relationship. Yeah, why do you think she's just all of a sudden you're going to become her first? She don't know you. She's still learning about you.
anyway, I don't know. Sure. Sure, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I have with those two.
Me too.
So next is Cute and Cuter, Brie and Vinny, Champagne Vinny.
Yeah. Cheesecake Vinny, I should
She
say.
so I can answer for both of us. We both said yes. We surprise, surprise, they both said yes in
Yeah,
staying
but wait, can we
together.
talk about their look? I'm sorry, I'm like
Oh,
so.
we can get there. I'm just,
Oh,
just
okay.
saying that they both did end up saying yes to staying married. So now, Lori, go ahead and talk about their look.
So Brianna, now it's cold outside. Now look at Brianna. Came in half naked, looking bomb. Okay, hair pressed out, deep V in the
Mm-hmm.
front, short on the bottom. I was just like, okay. Even Pastor Cal was like, all right. She said, I'm on TV. I am going to look good no matter how cold I am.
Right.
Okay. We gonna come up in here looking bomb. Um, Vincent kind of looked I don't want to
I
say
don't know
that.
what he looked like. I don't
He
remember.
looks fine. He looked good. He's
Okay.
fine. But yeah, uh, and we'll talk. I guess we'll talk about looks later in the other one, the reunion. So they came in. They both were just talking. Like Brianna was just talking about how close she's felt with him, and she started crying just thinking about like you know, she was not expecting this to go like this. Well, they've had issues. There's things that he needs to work on. There's things she needs to work on. But, you know, she just feels like, you know, it's been great, you know. And he kind of just echoed the same sentiment. They were trying to kind of more like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this, but you know what they were gonna say. We know they were gonna say yes. So after they said yes, like normal people, Eric, then he had hidden a cheesecake under the chairs and had bent down to propose, and that's what he proposed with. And she started bawling, and she was just like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Cheesecake." Everybody was just like, "Cheesecake." All the experts was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "You don't understand. This is so much better than a ring." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay."
Well,
Cheesecake.
each her own, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
what.
that
But
just shows that he knows her.
right, I
You
would
know.
say, but he knew his wife. He knew
Mm-hmm.
what would get her and touch her, and so
Yeah.
it was that cheesecake. Because I sure was like cheesecake. I mean, I like a good cheesecake too, but
Don't
with my
replace that
ring.
ring. Right. Don't replace that ring. So,
But
but
it was
yeah.
cute. It was
Yes.
very cute, and like we said, it just showed how much that the two of them have grown in these 8 weeks and have learned about each other. Because when you're really open and you are trusting the process,
Mm-hmm.
then I think you really have the opportunity to get to know another person and establish the foundation you need to move forward and having a successful marriage. So
Yep.
yes, and she did look great in that dress. I thought she was showing a little too much, but you know, hey, she was trying to look good for her husband. So when he came, which he didn't really acknowledge her. They like some of the other couples get up and hug. I don't remember them like hugging or having any interaction when they first got there.
No. I feel like the only couple that hugged was Eric and Virginia.
Aaron Virginia. Okay.
But I don't remember that piece, but I don't know. They could have just cut it out too. I don't
That
know.
I was just about to
To
say
try to make
maybe.
it seem like, oh, what's gonna happen? But whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so yay, congratulations to Rihanna and Vinny. I mean, I think episode 2, most people are probably like, yeah, they gonna make it.
Yeah. I'm
So
surprised we have 3 yeses right now. So and in this crazy season. So
right.
yeah.
So
Mm-mm.
next,
Don't.
yes, Paige and Chris. So they've been MIA for the last few episodes
Mm-hmm.
because um there was no story there. So they were out the show, but they had to come back for decision day. Even though a decision was made, they had to officially, I guess, and then of course good TV talk
Yeah.
about what happened. But boy, do I tell you, these two, they just it's him. He just drama. He's gonna do whatever he needs to do to get the
He's a big
drama.
baby.
And
Big baby.
yeah, so Paige and Chris, Paige shows up looking nice, body, right? Just showing everything. Chris shows up in his little sister's pants that are like shouldn't he I guess that's the trend, right? And all these guys that wear these skinny pants and it's not cute. And then it's not cute. And that's his style. So he had his little tight, short, what do you call pedal pusher pants? That's what they look like to me. Almost pedal pusher. And where to start with those two? Oh,
Oh,
you
so
want to
what's your
talk with,
decision?
huh?
What was your decision? Yes or no?
Oh, I thought, no. Was that even in question? Like they made the decision for themselves a few weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so yes, our prediction was no. The day of, um, it sounds like they had a whole 6 hour,
6 hours, this girl said.
6 hours of trying to go back and forth of whether they're going to stay undecided, which was not a response. It's either yes or no, um, or no. So
Okay. Can we go back? Can we go back? First of
go,
all,
girl, go back as far back as you need to go.
6 hours, right? they had the experts having to wear them dang clothes a second day. I would have been mad right there that I had to put these clothes back on when we thought we were going to finish this all in one day. So 6 hours of this foolishness, and we only saw maybe 15, 20 minutes of it.
Yes.
And I can't even imagine the stress of having to go through that. So he comes in there, like Ashanti said, and she comes in there all like, air hugs. I never seen anybody do that before. But so she came in and just thinking that this has already been decided. That's how it looked to me. Like, this has already been decided. I guess we have to talk through it, but we know it's a no, right? He comes in there talking about, I meant to call you. I really didn't want to do this here. I meant to tell you like on the phone, but Mercedes had a miscarriage. Did you mean to call me before this?
No.
And tell me this before this day? That would have already pissed me off, but it doesn't piss Paige off. She feels more like maybe this is a better opportunity. Maybe we can start over as usual. Or she just looks at it more on a sad for him, sad for her, but maybe this presents an opportunity. That's how it seemed like to me.
Yes, because she's like, now that that's out the picture, can we now start? Because that was the main issue of their marriage, as far as she knew at the time, right? That was really one of the main issues, that Mercedes was pregnant and here's this baby. So now that unfortunately she lost the baby, like, okay, could this be a new start for us?
And I'm thinking, Dr. Viviana had to remind her, weren't you having issues before this baby came up?
Yes. I wanted to get up and be like, Paige, why? No. Like you said, then Dr. Viviana, thank you, spoke up and was like, ma'am, that was one thing of y'all relationship, but it was not the only thing. And even then, this man just so a couple of things I wrote right away. He made some comments, and these are quotes from him, about how, I don't remember the context. She struggled with protecting his feelings. And I was like,
he struggled.
Chris was saying Paige struggled with protecting his feelings. And I'm like, why does she need to be protecting your feelings?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I missed that.
It was when he was kind of started talking about the marriage and how he didn't expect it to end so abruptly, and how he thought it was gonna, be like he was gonna meet his person and all of that.
Wrote, when he was talking, I wrote blah 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 blah. Love Chris. That's what I wrote.
Love Chris. So in that blah blah blah, one of the actual quotes was she struggled with protecting my feelings. And I'm like, why does she need to be protecting your feelings?
Okay.
So I think it basically went back to when everything came out about the fiance being pregnant, that he expected her to be there and comfort him and go through all of that. She was. Yes. She was there and was willing to be there. That's just this dude.
Okay.
But my other comments, like when he was talking all that blah 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 blah, how the experts were kind of looking at each other like, what?
Yes, I wrote Pastor Cal was squirming in his seat, like he was just like, this.
But he does not speak up enough to me. Who? Pastor Cal. Yeah. I feel like
I get his conundrum, because like when Pastor Viviana, Dr. Viviana wanted to kind of interject, like, yo, you can't keep touring with this girl. You need to make a decision. You need to be there for her, just like how she's been there for you, basically, right? Mm-hmm. And Pastor Cal was just like, like, don't cross the line. I think he's thinking we can only do so much. We can't tell Paige what to do. We can't tell Chris what to do. We can encourage them and say, you know, what you're doing, you know, you're not, you know, looking out for her. You're looking out for yourself. Like when he was whispering to him, you're looking out for yourself, but you also need to think about her as well. But he doesn't want to meddle in it and change the trajectory of their personal decision. I think that's what it is.
And I'm not saying that he should. I just feel like there was definitely moments that he could have called Chris out a lot more than he did. And saying, dude, you are wrong. You foul in how what you're doing, what you said. And even with this at this point in stage when the decision day and some of the things he was saying, he was like, but you did the X, Y, and Z. You did this, this, and that. I feel like he could have spoke up a lot more than he did. And I appreciate Dr. Viviana calling things out. Like, I feel like you're just playing with her feelings because that is what he was doing, right? Yeah. He knew, like he's always done through this season, he knew what words to say that kind of just would get her to be like, oh, wait a minute. That little feeling of hope, like she said, she just always kind of kept that little, it was always a little spark there that she was hoping that more can happen between them. And he knew.
Because I was thinking, like, what is his end game here? Like, you don't really want to be with her. So what's your end game? And I thought about it, I was like, he don't want her to say that she wants a divorce from him. He wants to be the one to control what's happening this entire time. I don't want you to divorce me. I want to divorce you. I want to buy my baby mama whatever. I want to control my destiny in all times. I don't want you to have an opinion about what we do. I want to be the author and finisher of my relationship, our relationship.
And that's what I wrote. Some to the same effect that he don't want to be denied on camera. So he don't want her to break up with him. So going back a little bit, after he announced that the ex-fiance had the miscarriage, he started crying and he ran out. And Paige goes running after him. Why does she keep running after this man? That's what I want to say. But she goes and she runs after him. They're sitting in the car and they're talking. And he's like, you know, do you want to do this? What do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. And fast forward a little bit further, they get back in, right? He's now speaking on her behalf, saying, we're undecided. We're undecided. And they're like, no. It's yes or no. You want, if you're undecided, that means you're saying yes by default because you're deciding to stay married. And Paige is kind of just sitting there, and I'm like, speak up. Like, is this what you want? Because he's about to manipulate the situation again and make it that both of you are undecided when it's really him. Because again, he want to control the narrative and not be the one to be broken up with. He want to break up with you, which he did already. Remember when he told you he wanted that divorce?
Yeah, he was like, well, I left you alone. He was going through, like I said, I don't know who he be talking to, but they be giving him like nice little code words to figure out how to make this better. But he was like, yeah, I should have moved in with you. I should have done this, blah, 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 blah.
What you should have, could have, would have, should have.
Yeah. What confused me, this man just told you that he lost his first and only child. Well, that we know of. And he starts breaking down. And then you run after him. You go in the car. I know this is editing, but I didn't hear nothing about this baby from that point of why he was crying. It had nothing to do with him losing a child. It had nothing to do with the process of that whole experience of expectation and then kind of getting let down. And it had nothing to do with any of the things that you would think that somebody would be crying. I don't blame Paige for, going after and see if he was okay, because that's a big thing to lose a child that you were preparing for, that you buy a Mercedes for somebody for. But I get that that could be a huge thing. But I didn't hear none of that. I heard I should have done this. You were such a good woman, blah, 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 da, 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 da. And it was just seems like it was another way to manipulate her to be like, Maybe. I don't know. I'm
It
confused.
was. And like
And
you
I was like,
said,
what the heck is this?
I don't necessarily, because she's such a good person and such a good heart. I don't blame her for going after him too. But where he manipulated situation is how far he ran out the whole building to the car. He knew she was gonna follow him. And so he got her into his environment, into
Yep.
his car
I
where he
agree.
could manipulate that situation.
Yep. And then
Like,
he came back in. Oh, are you cold? But are you cold though? Do you need, okay, let me give you my
took his coat
jacket.
off and all. You're right.
The whole thing was just like, it was just sad. And like what you said, he came in there, tried to make all the determinations as if they talked about this. He's like, well, she's undecided too. Is she though? Listen to what she's saying. Let her answer the question. You over here talking over her and saying, which, oh, we're going to be the first couple to not make a decision on decision day.
And then he was being so rude to Dr. Viviana when they were like, no, 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 you need to make a decision. He's like, had
I
his
don't give
hand,
a this,
huh?
that. I don't give a this. I don't give a whatever.
Yeah, so rude.
That's his personality. And I think that's another reason why Pastor Cal don't put him in the corner, because there's certain ways, I think, to counsel different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot counsel somebody with like him with aggression. You see, as soon as you kind of push, he starts retreating, going like, I don't this, I don't whatever, it don't matter, this is this, and then he'll run away. And I think the only person he's ever been able to really talk to was Pastor Cal.
So
Not that
he,
he's learning anything, but
right,
that's the only
okay.
person
So
he's
yeah,
like,
so Pastor Cal probably over
yeah,
years and learned how to different people
I
he's
think so.
interacted with, like know when to, and maybe there's also something there as being another black man to know, okay, let
No, he
me
don't care about that.
no.
Because
I
all
was
the
like,
other
maybe he
black
sees that he
men
knows,
that you
like, okay,
talk
I've seen
to,
this, I know this, that I can't push too hard. So
maybe.
let
Yeah.
me, that's what I mean. Like, okay, so let me let him kind of get all that out. And so like he had that moment when Paige then runs off to
Yeah.
go talk to the producers. He having that moment with Chris and kind of talking to him. So okay, I still feel like he could have spoke up a little bit more, but
He probably could have. He probably could have. But then it's kind of like, you know how you talk to somebody and you're just like, we don't talk about this again. I don't know. Like, we what are we talking about? I
yeah.
think his only goal is treat her better. That's it. Treat her better. You don't even have to be honest with how everything went down because it's already done. But look out for her for a change instead of for
Yeah,
yourself. That's it. Can you do that? Just today? Can we
like
just
because you don't treat her like ish all this season. Like that was the end. Just be respectful
and let it go?
and let her make her own decision. You not speak for her.
Right.
So thankfully she got herself together. She wanted to talk to the producers and they were like, you made your mind up before you got here. So why now are you changed? Like what has really changed to make you change you how you felt? So she got herself together. She comes back and she thankfully says no. She makes her own decision. In this moment, no to stay married to him.
Okay.
Don't mean nothing else gonna happen afterwards, but the marriage part at least she had decided at that moment to say no.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wrote one thing that he said that pissed me off in his confessional. Like when they were first walking in, he said that when he first saw Paige, that he felt blessed, and I was like, "Stop lying!"
What? I remember that too. I was like, what? What? Huh? When? After you don't talk about that girl like a dog and how
Like
she
a
looked.
dog. You cussed the first time you saw her. They got it on camera. What the heck? Oh, oh my
He,
goodness.
yeah,
I
his
don't even know what. Oh, I also put, she's in La La Land, and I wish women could see through this kind of ish. I wish, and I'm because she's not alone. Like I've been in that situation where you just like, how come you can't see? You remember all the time this and that, and then they'll say one thing, and then you're just like, well, maybe,
it draws you right back in. But
maybe,
like we said, it's kind of different, right, with other people who have history because
yeah,
you know you there's history there. So you have maybe as many, if not more, good times than bad. But with them, they just met. It was day 1, day 2 that they started having issues.
Day 2, it was horrible. I mean, we saw it day 1, but she didn't know about it day 1. But day 2 was, I mean, just crash and burn.
Burn, right?
Like and not like a little thing. Like burn, done, panic attack. Like I just, woo. Okay. Anywho, so
well, anything else with those two?
Not at this point. Well, yeah, not at this point. Not until later.
Okay, so later is now, where at the end you're talking about with the couples, they all come back and
Yes.
they kind of have that little gathering, and then they announce who decided to stay together. So Brianna and Vincent say they're together. Nobody's surprised. Virginia and Eric said they decided to stay together. Haley and Jacob, of course, said that no.
We're sitting separate, so they kind of already knew that.
Totally separate. Claire and Ryan say yes. And Paige is there, which I think most people already knew that was a no. But then all of a sudden, here comes Chris walking in. I totally was not expecting that because he didn't show up to any of the other.
I thought I saw him coming in there.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
How? I didn't. I was like, he just got embarrassed because she said no. That he was like, no, I'm not going.
Did he get embarrassed? Oh. He did this show to be on TV.
He just wanted the visibility.
Yes, I think so. I figured he was gonna come over there, and he came in there looking like a thought with these ripped jeans, and they so tight. Like, how you?
I read a comment that said they look. Why y'all calling those jeans when those are leggings? Like they would be leggings if they were women. Women wearing them.
They were so tight. I was just like, they had these little pretty shoes on. I'm like, sir, I could not. I'm sorry. I guess I'm biased, but I can't date somebody that look like that.
Me either. No.
And he came out with this random box. I thought he was gonna give out something, and I was like, "Oh, you just have a box."
Okay. What was in it? I don't remember.
Nothing. No, that's what I was like. What is this box?
I don't know. I missed it. Yeah, I remember seeing it, but I didn't know if I missed when he gave something out. They cut. Okay, so he just came with the box. Okay.
So and then so they were all talking, and Virginia was asking Paige questions, and she was just like, I'll let him tell that. And she was just like, oh, okay, sure. Okay. Yeah. She looked so nervous. I was just like, oh Lord, what's going on there? But yeah, I guess, I don't know. This season was so strange to me. I wonder if they even still talk. I think maybe the women talk. I don't know if all those guys still talk to each other or anything like that. It just, they didn't seem like they had that. They looked like they were more forced together. Like,
right. There was no real chemistry between the guys. Like they would just hang out and things.
I don't see it.
No.
At all.
No, I don't either. Maybe Jacob and Ryan because they like to work out, but just because they had that in common, but that don't necessarily mean that they actually would hang out.
You never know, but it just doesn't seem like that group of guys would like, oh, what's going on?
No, I don't see like Vincent communicating with anyone else out this group. Like,
no, and I thought Vincent was gonna like kind of talk to Chris a bit more, but he didn't even say anything. He was just looking like,
I can't stay right over here with my wife and be quiet.
Because he seemed like he was on his side for a couple of the things.
Episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say he was on his side, but he definitely was there, like we're trying to break up the fight and that kind of stuff. But I don't know, when I hear you say like on his side, like defending him or stuff like that, I didn't see that.
I think he defended him. I was confused. Yeah, during that fight, that same scene, I think he defended him with Eric and that whole situation. And I was like, yeah, but y'all weren't there. So that's why I figured they were defending him and Brianna. They didn't understand why Eric came so aggressive and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, because you weren't there.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I guess I just say that's more of a statement than like they're defending Chris and his actions and what he did in that instance. But okay. Was that it? You had something else about him showing up later?
No,
at
no.
that point?
Okay. Just him looking like a thought.
He did. His little cut up G's and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So next episode, the reunion. We got different looks. I guess this is what happens when you take 2 months off, no filming.
Right.
We got hair growing out in different places. Champagne Vinny looking like Poppy with hair on the top. I was like, oh, you're not bald. You just by choice. Okay. And Ryan in his big old mustache. He looked like a mustache. Yeah.
You know what he look like? Is that for the Pringles can? Yes, that's what Ryan look like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Monopoly, the guy from the Monopoly game. Oh. All he needs is a little
Lord have mercy. But yeah, he looks special. And Chris again running and yelling as per usual. So we'll see what's going on with that drama.
Yes. So yes, we have come to the end of the season. Not counting the reunion next week, but we reached decision day. So just to recap quickly, Clara and Ryan both said yes. Haley and Jacob is a no. Paige and Chris was a no. Virginia and Eric was a yes. And Brianna and Vincent were a yes. So 3 out of the 5 couples decided to stay together on decision day. So next week is the reunion show. We'll actually find out if they did continue to stay together months after the filming. And then probably if it's not out there now, it'll be out there soon, whether these couples are actually even still together today. So tune back in next week as we do recap the reunion show. We have decided we're going to start recapping Ready for Love. That's on the OWN network. The season has already started, so we're going to go back and start from the beginning. But that'll probably start in 2 weeks after next week's episode of the reunion of Married at First Sight. So again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, click that subscription button, like video, and tell us what you thought of this week's episode. What were your predictions? Did the couples you thought were going to stay together, did they? Or did the ones you thought were going to... I feel like everybody knew Haley and Jacob were going to say no. And Paige and Chris.
I don't think there were major surprises here.
Yeah. So, but if there is something else that surprised you with this episode, if you have some other funny commentary about some of the looks of these of the individuals from this season, let us know. Thank you for watching and for joining us on this journey of recapping Married at First Sight. We hope you'll continue to watch with us Ready for Love, and we'll give you more details as we get ready to recap that show.
And it looks like season 13 is going to be in Texas starting in July. So we'll pick back up with that later on this summer.
This summer, yes. I haven't seen any. You saw previews for that, or like in the couples themselves?
Well, it's like that cryptic thing. So they'll show like different scenes, and you'll see like a hand here, or like backs of people there. So they don't want to show you who's in the episode, but yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching. And as usual, before we leave, we want to remind you to do what?
Protect your throne. Bye.
Bye.